In the hills of Nemea there roamed a lion unlike any creature the Greeks had ever known. Travelers there abandoned the roads. Shepherds dared not graze their flocks. Entire villages spoke its name in hushed tones. Many warriors had already tried to kill the beast. None had returned. Far away in Mycenae, King Eurystheus considered how best to put his powerful cousin to work. If Heracles was to cleanse his crimes, the king reasoned, he would begin not with glory, but with labor. And so Eurystheus chose a terror that was already plaguing the land. This lion was no ordinary creature. Its hide gleamed like hammered gold, and turned aside spear and arrow alike. Blades struck it as though they had met bronze. Its claws could rend shield and armor as easily as cloth, and its jaws were said to crush stone. Eurystheus smiled thinly. Surely this would be the end of Heracles. "Go to Nemea," he declared, feigning boredom. "Rid us of this lion." Heracles paused. "Shall I bring it back to you?" "What use would I have for a lion?" Eurystheus scoffed, stretching the word with theatrical disdain. Laughter rippled through the court. "Simply see that it troubles us no longer." Heracles inclined his head and departed the hall without another word. He did not rush into this battle. For months he stalked the hills of Nemea as a hunter, studying the creature's patterns, where it drank, where it made a den, how it moved at dusk. He had learned from past encounters that strength alone was not enough. Wisdom must accompany it. He also trained. If bronze and iron could not pierce the lion's hide, then he would rely on what no hide could resist: his hands. He uprooted saplings and then trees. He lifted boulders from riverbeds. He hardened his grip until even stone seemed to yield beneath his fingers. The den lay hidden among the rocky hills, but Heracles quickly noticed something important. The cave had two entrances. If the lion fled from one while he entered the other, the hunt might never end. So the hero circled the hillside and sealed the rear passage with a great stone, rolling the boulder into place until the escape route was blocked. The beast would have nowhere left to run now. At last, when preparation met resolve, he approached the lion's cavern. The cave was dark and silent as Heracles stepped inside. Deep within the cavern, the lion had already discovered something was wrong. The rear passage, the path it had used countless times before, was now sealed with stone. The beast prowled the cavern in growing agitation, sniffing the air and circling the blocked escape. And then it sensed something else. An intruder. The lion turned toward the entrance just as Heracles stepped into the dim light. Startled, furious, and offended at the intrusion, the great beast recoiled for only a heartbeat before its rage took hold. Man and monster locked eyes, each measuring the other's will. Then they sprang into action. The clash shook the earth. The lion's claws tore at the air where Heracles had stood a heartbeat before. Dust rose around them as they grappled, strength against strength. Heracles seized the creature and hurled it to the ground, but it rose again, roaring with a fury that echoed through the hills. They fought not for moments, but for hours, rolling through the stones and thorns and shadow. At last, Heracles locked his arms around the lion in a crushing embrace. The golden hide could turn aside blades, but it could not repel the relentless pressure of mortal strength. Slowly, inexorably, the beast weakened, and the Nemean lion fell silent. When the dust settled, Heracles did not boast. He knelt beside the fallen creature. "It was a worthy contest," he murmured, as though speaking at a warrior's funeral. "May your strength live on in mine." There are men who mistake conquest for greatness, and there are others who understand that power, unchecked by respect, curdles into cruelty. Heracles, at least in those early years, knew the difference. He wanted to skin the lion, but remembered that neither knife nor sword could pierce the hide. Only when he used the lion's own claw did the pelt yield. He draped the impenetrable golden skin across his shoulders, the great head resting above his brow, the mane falling against his back. Around his neck he fastened a necklace out of the claws, not as trophies of vanity, but as reminders of a hard-won victory. Then, finding a mighty oak, he tore it from the earth and shaped it into a massive club befitting his new attire. Thus arrayed, lion's pelt upon his shoulders, club in hand, Heracles began the journey back to Mycenae. He knew the king would not laugh at him so easily this time. Thanks for spending some time here at Mesa's Place. If you'd like to hear the next labor of Heracles, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next story. And until next time, keep the fire burning.